chosen ones, I speak to you now, to the part of you that has always felt a deep, profound, and utterly unshakable feeling planted in the center of your soul. It is more than just an emotion. It is a knowing, a restless, burning fire that no amount of worldly compromise or distraction has ever been able to put out. From your earliest memories, you may have recognized that you are fundamentally different. You do not process the world with the same logic. You do not feel the standard range of human emotions, and your spirit operates on a divergent frequency from the majority of people around you. Where others find a sense of comfort and belonging, you often experience an acute sense of isolation, feeling that the very places they call home are, for you, nothing more than a well-decorated cage. The conversations that seem to consume their time and energy leave you feeling profoundly bored, and the life paths they eagerly rush down appear, in your unique perspective, utterly void of genuine meaning or lasting purpose. This persistent, frustrating misalignment leads to a crucial question that has likely plagued your entire life. Why? Why does the entire world seem to perpetually misunderstand your motives, your desires, and your vision? Why does your powerful spirit feel so profoundly misplaced, like a foreign object attempting to function in a system that simply wasn't designed for it? The answer, chosen one, is an ancient truth that might initially shock your human mind, but your spirit has been whispering it to you all along. You are not 100% human. I understand that this statement may cause a tremor within you. It directly challenges everything you have been conditioned to believe about yourself and your place in the universe. But if you take a quiet moment to truly listen, to open the spiritual part of you that has been waiting, you will realize this fundamental truth is not a new revelation. It has been encoded within your very being since the day you were born, patiently waiting for the precise moment of its full and conscious awakening. Let me be absolutely clear. This concept of your non-human nature is not a poetic flourish, nor is it an over-the-top exaggeration designed for dramatic effect. This is pure, unadulterated truth. You carry an internal component, a spiritual energy that originates far beyond the boundaries of this physical realm. Your core spirit is an immigrant to this planet. Your ultimate origin is not the earth you walk upon. The very life force that pulses through your veins, the essence that makes you you, is infused with a quality that completely defies all attempts at rational human explanation. You have been touched by a higher source, by the very power of the divine. You are functioning as a living, breathing vessel for a reality that is beyond the scope of ordinary human comprehension, a sacred cosmic mystery that remains completely hidden from the skeptical eyes of the world, but is unveiled with perfect clarity to those who possess the spiritual ears to hear its truth. The world, in its relentless, conforming fashion, has worked tirelessly to perpetrate a great deception against your true identity. It has continuously hammered the message that you are nothing special, that you are just like everyone else, an ordinary cog in a massive machine. It has insisted that your only chance at peace is to seamlessly fit in, to silently follow the established rules, and to never question the authority of the system. Yet, deep within your core, there has always been a powerful, irresistible resistance. There is a part of you, the non-human part, that absolutely refuses to conform to its narrow expectations. Why? Because the simple fact is you were never meant to conform. This message, please understand, is not a universal one. Many individuals who hear these words will instantly reject them, remaining willfully blind to the profound truth I am articulating. But you, my friend, if you are truly one of the chosen, will feel your spirit leap with recognition, bearing immediate and powerful witness to the spiritual information being transmitted to you right now. So, I urge you now, drop your defenses, open your heart, and more importantly, open your mind to the possibility of this truth. Allow the cleansing, transformative fire of this realization to utterly consume and incinerate every single lie, every limiting belief, and every false identity that the world has tried to place upon you since birth. Because right now, in this very moment, a critical shift is occurring, and you are about to fully remember who you truly are. Now, let's delve directly into the core of the matter. If the fundamental premise is that you are not 100% human, then the most immediate and profound question arises: what precisely are you? To truly arrive at this answer, we must journey all the way back to the oldest, most foundational text, where the Creator speaks. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion." Genesis 1:26. What does this ancient, powerful decree to be made in the very image of God truly signify for you, the chosen one? It means that your true composition extends far beyond the limited scope of mere flesh and blood. You are not simply an animated body. You are first and foremost spirit. Your authentic core nature is not constrained, defined, or limited by this finite physical reality. This spiritual primacy is the precise reason why you possess the unique ability to perceive things others cannot, why you consistently dream of realities that defy what the world calls possible, and why your spirit remains perpetually restless, constantly aching and longing for a connection that transcends the boundaries of this temporary existence. You were never intended to be caged by the shallow, fear-based limitations that govern the rest of the world. Your spiritual DNA is literally carrying a divine signature, the unmistakable, profound imprint of the Creator Himself, and this is the foundational element that sets you so powerfully apart. This divine difference is the reason the average person fundamentally fails to grasp you. It explains why people consistently misinterpret your intentions and your actions, and why you often feel like a conscious observer walking through a dimension that remains completely invisible to the masses. They are attempting to understand your magnificent truth through their limited, purely human eyes, but you are far more than that. You are a complete spiritual being, temporarily enveloped in a layer of flesh, an eternal being purposefully having a brief, temporary experience. You are a pinnacle of divine creation, carrying the precious, life-giving breath of God within your spiritual lungs. This profound truth is precisely why the forces of darkness, which we call the enemy, are working with such relentless intensity to make you completely forget your true, powerful identity. Their ultimate goal is to keep you ignorant of your inherent nature. If you were to fully, completely, and unequivocally realize the magnitude of who you are, the divine image you carry, you would instantly cease to be constrained by the arbitrary rules and systems of this world. You would no longer be a slave to the shackles of fear, the corrosive whisper of doubt, or the paralyzing grip of mediocrity. You would permanently rise above living a life that falls drastically short of your magnificent potential. Instead, you would definitively rise to the full height of your spiritual stature. You would begin to walk in the spiritual dominion that was originally promised to you. Your faith would become a powerful force capable of commanding atmospheres and genuinely shifting entire realities. Because you are not simply human, you are the very image of God, specifically chosen, powerfully set apart, and utterly marked for distinction. The very instant you completely embrace this undeniable truth, I promise you, your life will be irrevocably and permanently transformed. Let's now turn to a statement from a pivotal figure, Jesus himself, a declaration that shook the deepest foundations of human philosophical and spiritual understanding. He said, "They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world." John 17:16. I want you to truly let the weight of that statement resonate within your spirit. They are not of the world. Who was the divine speaker referring to? He was speaking directly about his chosen people, those who were intentionally sent into this world with a mission, but who possess an origin that fundamentally does not belong to it. This single statement introduces a critical, defining distinction that separates humanity into two distinct spiritual camps currently walking the earth. The first group is comprised of those individuals who are definitively of the world. Their existence, their deepest thoughts, and their governing desires are completely tethered to and defined by the earthly systems and values of this temporal reality. They spend their limited time frantically chasing after things that are fleeting and temporary, and they live and ultimately perish according to the short-sighted rules established by humankind. They are primarily and entirely ruled by the input from their physical senses, what they can visually see, what they hear, and what they physically feel. But then there is the second group, those who are emphatically not of the world. Their journey did not commence here, nor will it conclude upon this planet. These chosen ones operate on a dramatically different existential plane. Their intellectual life functions on a higher level of thought, driven by spiritual insight rather than mere logic. Their deepest desires rarely align with the temporary, often self-destructive, ways of the world. Their inner spirit responds instantly and powerfully to a completely different frequency, a spiritual vibration that is simply undetectable and completely incomprehensible to the average person. If the core message of this script is resonating with you right now, then you are a verified member of this second, set-apart group. Your physical vessel may have been fashioned on this planet, but the spark of your spirit was ignited elsewhere in a heavenly realm. Your true origin is divine, and your entire existence was meticulously planned long before the concept of time was even conceived. This is the precise reason why you so frequently experience the sensation of being a complete stranger in your supposed homeland. It explains why the world, in its essence, does not naturally embrace you, and why you feel a profound detachment from its economic systems, its social values, and its base, temporary desires, because your fundamental essence simply does not belong here. This, chosen one, is not a flaw. It is simultaneously your most formidable strength and your most challenging internal struggle. You were never intended to naturally fit in. You were never meant to seamlessly blend into the anonymity of the crowd. And you were certainly never meant to achieve a state of relaxed comfort in a world that is inexorably fading away. You have been explicitly set apart, powerfully called, definitively chosen, and eternally sealed by the heavens themselves. Therefore, you must cease the exhausting effort of trying to be like them. Stop trying to force your powerful, unique being into a restricting mold that you were never created to occupy. You must stop desperately seeking validation, approval, or acceptance from a world that is fundamentally not your home. The spiritual reality is that you are not of this world, just as your caller is not of this world. And very soon, the one who extended this divine invitation to you will execute his promise and return, and when that glorious moment arrives, he will definitively and eternally separate these two groups. Consider the powerful visual analogy of a lion somehow walking down a busy city street. It does not fit. It is obvious to everyone that it does not belong. The human onlookers would instantly be gripped by fear, and their first immediate reaction would be to attempt to capture it, control it, and quickly put it into a cage. Why? Because it is fundamentally not one of them. Chosen one, this stark reality is the reason you constantly encounter such intense resistance in your life. It's why people frequently misunderstand your actions, your motives, and your words. It explains why, no matter how hard you attempt to blend in, a spiritual force always seems to push you back out. This is why the bitter taste of rejection often follows your footsteps, and why you feel like an alien, even among your own immediate family or community. It is because you were never, ever meant to fit in. The world intrinsically recognizes your difference, even if its human inhabitants cannot articulate the spiritual reason why. It instinctively senses that you do not belong to its systems, and because of this deep-seated fear, it will relentlessly try to break you, to force you into spiritual conformity, and to make you question the absolute validity of your identity and the purpose of your calling. But you must not fall victim to this calculated deception. The pain of rejection you may be experiencing is not a spiritual curse. It is, in fact, an undeniable confirmation of your unique, set-apart status. You are struggling not because you are weak, but because you are tremendously powerful. You may be suffering, but it is not because you are spiritually lost. It is because you have been profoundly found and earmarked by the heavens. You are being vigorously resisted, not because you are worthless, but precisely because you are absolutely priceless to the unfolding divine plan. The systems of this world do not expend energy attacking things that pose zero threat. This is why spiritual darkness fundamentally hates the light you carry. This is why the enemy tirelessly fights against every soul carrying a divine purpose. The forces of the world are specifically designed to suppress those who are chosen, because if you were to ever fully awaken to the incredible, supernatural truth of your identity, you would become completely unstoppable. And that, above all else, is the single greatest fear of the spiritual opposition. So, the ultimate question I pose to you is this: will you rise? Will you finally embrace the magnificent, divine calling placed upon your life? Will you walk through this life as the majestic, spiritual lion you were created to be? Or will you permit the world's fear and conformity to put you back into a debilitating cage? Now that the spiritual reality has been established, that you are profoundly not of this world, how, practically, do you navigate and live successfully within it? Here are 5 critical actions you must take. Your original design was not for blending in. You were fundamentally created to stand out and shine brightly. Immediately stop seeking any form of validation from a world that lacks the spiritual capacity to ever truly understand the depth of your purpose. Remember the spiritual axiom: the world will never love or accept what it cannot completely control, and it will always resist those who carry the pure, unadulterated light of heaven. John 15:19. Instead of chasing fleeting approval, you must now fully embrace your difference. Walk with the profound confidence that your very separation from the world is the most powerful, tangible proof that you belong to something vastly, eternally greater. The world's persistent goal is to corrupt your soul, to completely dull the divine fire within you, and to ultimately make you completely forget who you truly are. It will relentlessly bombard you with an array of endless distractions, tempting compromises, and insidious lies that are solely designed to pull you away from your authentic identity. You must actively protect your spirit at all costs. Proverbs 4:23. Be meticulously mindful and discerning about what you permit to enter your mind and heart, what you choose to watch, what you choose to listen to, and the kind of people you choose to surround yourself with. Understand that not everything that is spiritually permissible is actually beneficial for your soul's journey. Understand that your spoken words are not just noise. They are powerful, creative forces that actively shape your present reality. You must stop speaking the language of weakness, and you must cease all declarations of defeat. Instead, you must consciously and consistently speak life, speak power, and speak destiny. Your voice, because of the spirit within you, carries undeniable divine weight, and what you choose to declare has the literal spiritual power to entirely shift atmospheres and circumstances. Proverbs 18:21. Use your voice as a mighty weapon of faith. Declare your victory and healing long before the physical evidence of it manifests in your life. Your true supernatural power does not originate from the temporary, unreliable things you can see with your physical eyes, but from the eternal, unshakable truths you know in your spirit. Stop waiting for tangible, physical proof before you choose to take action. The world is dependent upon physical sight, but you have been called to rely entirely on divine revelation. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Faith is the quiet, confident conviction that even when the entire path seems illogical or unclear, the Creator is still completely in control. It is the act of stepping forward with boldness, even when paralyzing fear is urging you to stop and stand still. Your necessary strength and unending power do not originate from this temporary world. They flow exclusively from the realm above. If you permit yourself to become spiritually disconnected, you will inevitably feel powerless, utterly empty, and profoundly lost. The non-negotiable key to consistently living a victorious life is to remain perpetually in the presence of the one who originally sent you on this mission. John 15:5. Dedicate time every day to focused prayer, deeply meditate on the divine word, and intentionally surround yourself with people who are also kingdom-minded. When you maintain that powerful, intimate connection to the Source, you naturally begin to walk in unparalleled authority, profound wisdom, and undeniable divine power. Chosen one, I want to deliver this final, undeniable truth. You are not ordinary. You are emphatically not of this world. You are absolutely, wonderfully set apart. So the command is simple: live like it, walk like it, and speak like it. Because the moment you fully and publicly embrace the supernatural truth of who you genuinely are, the world, in all its systems and resistance, will have absolutely no alternative but to stop, take notice, and ultimately acknowledge the king or queen walking among them. Perhaps this world has caused you to doubt your purpose, or perhaps the immense weight of the system has momentarily caused you to forget your worth. But let this message serve as your profound, powerful awakening. You are not ordinary. You are not weak. You are not a human mistake. You are chosen. You are irrevocably set apart, and you are indelibly marked by heaven. You were born for this precise time. You were specifically sent here for this mission. You were chosen for this victory. The world may have attempted to crush your spirit, and the enemy may have tirelessly tried to silence your voice, but the divine fire that burns within you is absolutely incapable of being extinguished. You were never intended to gently fade into the background noise. You were intended to rise, you were created to lead, and you were born to walk in commanding power. So I urge you now, rise up and decisively take your sacred place. The eternal kingdom is issuing a powerful call, and the time for action is now. There is no more time for waiting, no more room for hesitation. Step with boldness into the full, magnificent truth of who you were created to be.